Hello and welcome to Iron Deck. I'm your host, Peter. Do you know what time it is? Time for a haul video. It's not a very big video this time, only a few purchases that I've done. Before I begin anything, I have to say I am not an investment advisor. This is just, I'm an amateur and I don't know anything. That's basically the sum of all of it. If you've seen me play Magic, you know this. So, um, I want to talk a little bit about kind of the idea of reprints. And the reason I bring that up, honestly, the couple days ago, I was talking to a friend of mine, and he was talking about a card that was just reprinted and how he knew some people that were upset. They just spent all this money on a card that was then reprinted. Maybe I think it might have been a secret layer card. And of course, the price tanked. And so they were upset. And unfortunately, that's kind of the name of the game when it comes to trading cards, because if the company making them has the opportunity to make money off of the secondary market, off of the fact that their cards are worth more money and they can sell these cards in a premium product, then they're going to do it. Look at Force of Will. Force of Will, uncommon, popular card. They decide we're going to reprint it. We're going to make it as a mythic, so it's hard to pull. And as a result, they're going to retain some of the value. Now, some of the other cards they reprint in order to kind of drop the value to make the game more playable, which makes sense from a business standpoint. So there's a card Oubliette, which was like a $50, $60 card in Pauper, which is supposed to be just common cards. And so eventually they got to reprint that card. You have to know that that card is coming. That's what makes the reserve list good for investors because those cards won't be reprinted. And of course, people who want to play with the cards are upset about the reserve list because, well, in order to get into that format or obtain that card, they're going to have to pay the money. And as the secondary market fluctuates, those cards remain expensive because they're not going to get reprinted. Um, and it's funny because as I'm talking to my friend about this and kind of giving him examples and saying, well, listen, you have to, remember that these cards are going to be reprinted. I said to him, sure enough, they're going to reprint Imperial Seal. There's the Portal 3 Kingdoms. Good luck finding that in English. And then there's the Judge promo, which started off at like $100 and now it's like $800-900. And I said, they're not going to leave that money on the table. They're going to reprint it. The very next day, I'm not kidding. The very next day, the spoilers come out for Double Masters 2022, Imperial Seal. So, yeah. So congratulations everyone who sold their Imperial Seal. I've got one. I'm just keeping it. It's a card I want anyway. But you always have to be careful when it comes to kind of investing or speculating or something like that. Uh, you know, if it's not on the reserve list, then you're going to be subject to a possible reprint. Then there's the other concept that I use when it comes to, for example, the Kaladesh masterpieces, which those cards, in my opinion, are the best things Magic has or Wizards has ever made. The cards are absolutely beautiful. The card list, the list of the masterpieces are brilliant cards. I mean, between Mana Crypt, Soul Ring, all these just iconic cards. They really did a good job capturing the flavor of the vintage cards in in these masterpiece type cards, masterpiece frames and artwork and everything. And the beauty of those is even though those cards are subject to reprint, I mean, Soul Ring's reprinted every time a commander set comes out, but that specific artwork, that specific frame always remains desirable because I mean, unless they come out with and this is a possibility, they could make a masterpiece secret layer where they decide, oh, we're gonna make, more cards with this original Kaladesh lottery card masterpiece frame. And so but it's kind of risky, but you have a little bit more protection because as long as Wizards is not going to do um, lottery cards, even if they do lottery cards, they're probably going to try to change it up a little bit. They did it with the expedition lands from Battle of Zendikar versus the reprint, the most recent Zendikar set. They changed up the frames, and so they have different values. And the OG cards still have some kind of value to them, higher than the newest set, and players still seek them out as kind of the original cards. So, in that note, the first card that I acquired is the Boseiju Who Endures. But this is alternate art, foil, full art, and this card was only available. You could really only get this card in the collector's boxes. So, as long as collector boxes aren't being opened, this card is not entering the market. And in a way, that kind of, that rarity is what makes it special. Again, think of um, VIP Masters, full art, alternate art, foil, Force of Will. I keep using Force of Will as an example. That card is $200-300, and it's that valuable because that card you could only get in the VIP packs, and that art's never been printed before. You can't get the full art foil in the regular boxes, so kind of the same thing with this. I really wanted the alternate art. It's a beautiful card, and I got a good deal, so I figured, well, that's a trigger I'd pull. I didn't buy this for investment. I'm aware that will that's the important thing. They will reprint Boseiju at some point, but maybe not this art, maybe not this frame. So uh, there's our first card of the haul. Second, not reserve list, has been already reprinted, will get reprinted again. Force of Negation. This is the old frame and the etched foil, is it called? And I'm aware that this card will be reprinted. This card is actually, the etched art is cheaper than the regular frame foil, because this one was, you could pull it in the collector's packs, but the other one you had to get it in the draft box or the set box, and then it had to be foil, so it's harder to pull the regular frame foil. This one was a little bit easier to pull. It sits at about $80. I got a good deal on it again, and the reason I bought it is I am a legacy player despite my performance on Moto. But I only have two of these, and so this is my third, and I'll be getting a fourth at some point here. So I've got my playset. Next up, still kind of on the masterpiece theme, is the beautiful. I tell you, they did such a good job with this in Streets of New Capena. Um, this kind of gilded foil border is so beautiful. It's Rafine uh, Scheming Seer, and as soon as the set came out and I saw this card, I had to have it. um, the reason I think this will be okay in terms of value is because, again, it's the alternate border, specialized foiling. You know, this particular version, this particular frame might not get reprinted. I think the card's going to be reprinted. I think it's a popular card. It seems to be seeing a lot of play in standard. And the reason I got it is I'm planning on playing some brew of Esper once standard becomes more uh, available in my area. It's just everyone's playing modern, which is great, but it's um, the standard is a bit slim pickings lately. So, but I'll be jumping on that train in the form of Esper. Next up, I'll have to show this probably on the bigger screen here. Dun dun dun. Modern Masters 2015 edition. So, in light of the new Double Masters coming out, um, I want to talk about Masters sets here. I have at least one of every Masters box. I have some duplicates. I've got a handful of Eternal Masters boxes, a handful of Modern Masters 17, and Iconic Masters 25. I have all of them, but I actually didn't have one of these, and um, I just I'm a collector. I have to have at least one of everything. So um I came across this again, good deal. So I couldn't say no. And it's these are pretty safe bets, in my humble opinion, that these tend to not go down in value in the same way, you know, especially once they've been out for a while. So a set gets released, there's either a lot of hype and it goes through the moon, like Kamigawa collectors boxes, and then there are other sets that come out and then they tank, um, like Crimson Vow, which still really hasn't recovered. Other sets will tank and then recover, like the uh, I think collectors, excuse me, Commander Legends 2, the set kind of came out. It's kind of received some lukewarm um reception, and I haven't really even opened any. I opened up a couple of pre-order boxes or the pre-release kits, and I got a couple of collector's booster boxes, and I haven't opened them. I mean, I want to open them because I really like cracking packs, but like the chase cards really aren't there unless it's a Double Masters 2022 card that's stuck in. You guys have heard about that. There's some people have been opening these collector packs of Commander Legends, and they've been getting decent cards from that were accidentally put in from the new Double Master set. I saw a video. Someone was opening a pack and got the new Liliana in their full art foil. It was a beautiful card. So I just haven't really had the desire to open it. So when you are looking at these, sealed product, a lot of sets are subject to this. The master sets are even subject to this. Iconic Masters and Masters 25 both went down in value after they came out, but they've been steadily back. The expected value on both of those sets, even though they're the kind of bad master sets that came out, the expected value is going up. So that means the box prices are going up, and they're, I'm in the black right now because I bought them when they came out. The price went down, bought a few boxes, price has steadily gone up since then. And I think that's true for pretty much most of the master sets, especially because the value of those cards and the flavor of those sets are desirable. Um, and of course, Modern Masters 2015 is one of them. So I figured it was a safe bet. I'm not going to lose money on it. So we picked it up. And last but not least, I have finally acquired one of my great white whales or great white buffalo. Buffalo. Behold, the card that got away from me is now mine. It's so beautiful. The Library of Alexandria, I'm always looking for reserve list cards. I'm always looking for um, iconic cards from Magic's past. I have accumulated the Power Nine, Tabernacle, Mishra's Workshop, etc. And this card has always eluded me. I remember a few years ago was about to pull the trigger on one of the big name online shops, and I think the card was about $650, and then I missed out on it, and then they were sold out, and I thought, well, we'll see what happens. And then the card shot up to at least $1,000, and I was like, oh. So now I'm not going to get it. I can't justify it. And a little bit of time has passed. The card has kept going up. Now with the economy, the card came down a bit, and I thought, now's the time. It's not going to zero. The card's not Magic's not going anywhere. People are not finished playing Magic. Wizards isn't going away. This isn't going to zero. So this dip, I thought, was a good opportunity. Now the card could keep going down. That's the one thing to remember. Stock market, again, amateur advice. Stock market, collectibles, things like that. You have prices, of course, go up and down, and nobody knows where's the bottom, where's the top. I want to buy it at the bottom, I want to sell it at the top, but you're never going to know those 2 points in time. You'll never hit it on a mark. If you could, you'd be a multi-billionaire because you would just invest all your money at low, sell it at high, buy it at low, and just keep going. And that's impossible. So the idea is to kind of just look at trends and decide, well, if such, not this card in particular, but let's say this card, it was $500 for the longest time. It spiked to 1,000, and it stayed at 800 to 1,000 for 6 months or even a year, and now it's dipped down a little bit, and not because of a reprint or anything, but or even because of a reprint, but it's dipped down. Say, okay, this might be an opportunity. You buy it, you expect this could go lower. Don't panic. You got to follow the trend. Always follow the trends. And I mean, I say this. A lot of people are panicking about the market right now. If you look at the stock market from you know the 1920s to today, and you look at that graph, you can't even see the Great Depression, and we learned in school people were killing themselves in the Great Depression, bread lines, this and that. And sure, the market was the economy was bad at that time, but in the grand scheme of things, it was just a little blip. So you have to just kind of look at the general trends. And when you're in a downward part of the trend, expect it to keep going down, but there's a good chance it's coming back up. And you just kind of play with those kinds of concepts and try to decide when's the best time to move in. I don't see this card going down a lot in the future. I do see it continuing to go up. There's only so many of them in the world. And it's a card I wanted. And that's the most important thing. It's something I wanted. Somebody said it once about a very expensive watch. People were like, "Oh, why you spend all that money on a watch?" And sure, there's the value of the watch, and there's the appreciation of the watch. Certain watches, their aftermarket price is very high. But most importantly, how does it make you feel owning it? And I've just wanted this card. I got it, and I'm thrilled. So we have our beautiful library of Alexandria. So I appreciate you guys watching. Um, Hopefully, it was informative, and hopefully, you guys go out and follow your passion and buy the cards you like. And I will keep doing so, and I'll share with you what I've done and why I've done it. At least these are reasonable things instead of my $2 reserve list cards, right? So thank you very much for watching. Again, this is Iron Deck. Please like and subscribe. Tell a friend. We appreciate it. We're trying to grow our channel. You all have a great day.